Mangwana ni mwalilepo fukenjani class vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, your trusted window into the continent's headlines and hopes. In today's show, Kenya is gripped by the fury of individuals and the public with regards to media bans intensifying youth-led protests, while Zimbabwe's grand $88 million road project crumbles under corruption claims. South Africa's top intelligence officer is arrested in a multi-million rand scandal, and Botswana celebrates a regional trade boost, with President Duma Boko weighing in. We also spotlight Namibia's first official trade under AfCFTA, opening new chapters for continental commerce. The show includes Zambia's current affairs with Mike Sichula. Watch us on DStv 285, GOtv 25, 1up2.com, and NTV Africa on YouTube. Today is also World Social Media Day. Now, the importance of social media cannot be overstated. It has connected us. However, there are ways to approach social media that can protect us and others as well. So before you share online, consider the 5 W's provided by the United Nations. Who made it? What is the source of information? Where did it come from? Why are you sharing this? When was it published? My name is Ashwin Berry. Top stories shortly.
Taking flight has never been easier. Paratus is introducing Sky-Fi internet packages with speeds that will have you reaching for your seatbelts, starting from $500 million excluding VAT per month, with speeds reaching up to 10 megabits per second. There's even a prepaid option where you can top up your Sky-Fi internet for just $15 million per gigabyte. No contracts, no fuss. Visit your nearest Paratus branch to find out more, or go to paratus.africa/Namibia to sign up online.
Always prepared, Paratus.
Getting into our first story, Congo and Rwanda have brokered a peace deal which was negotiated by the United States, Donald Trump taking much pride in that decision, essentially on paper ending years and years of conflict. The deal includes minerals exchange, minerals to the value of approximately $2 trillion, that is with regards to Congo, and getting the assistance of removing the M23 rebels from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Here is the foreign minister of the DRC speaking at the White House.
Because it's the signing of a peace agreement between Congo and Rwanda to end a conflict that has been going on for 30 years. And there has been many mediation, facilitation in the past, but none of them succeeded. And we believe that it's because of your leadership and your steadfast commitment to this process, with also a new approach of economic integration, regional economic integration, which is important to allow Rwanda and DRC working together, because this is a very rich region with cross-border trade, with minerals, with natural wealth. So with the US standing side by side with Rwanda and DRC, we believe that we will achieve a long-time peace. And we also believe that, as my colleague from DRC stated, it's important for the United States to stay committed, because today we signed, but now we need to implement what we have signed in order to open this new era you were talking about of prosperity, so that we can reap the economic dividend of peace. So for this economic integration framework to be implemented, it's important for the US to accompany the parties to implement what we have signed, because in the past we have signed so many agreements that were not implemented. And we are really, we believe that with your leadership, with the involvement of the United States administration, we will reach that goal. So thank you very much, Mr. President.
Well, this will happen, definitely. I can reach over. Do you want to just press them over to me? Sure. Let me have them. And I just wanted to give you each. These are your signed agreements. And we'll make sure that you follow through. We'll make sure you follow through. Yeah. We'll make sure that you follow through. Okay, that's for you. Thank you. And we have one other thing that we're going to give, that we give to special people only. It's a coin.
Thank you.
And I hope you do that. I'm going to give you a second one for your leader.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much.
And likewise, we'll do that. These are
Continuing with our top stories. Kenya's government is facing a fierce backlash after ordering media outlets to stop live coverage of youth protests in Nairobi. The Communications Authority of Kenya's directive, condemned by the South African National Editors Forum, is seen as an attempt to suppress dissent following the death of blogger Albert Ojwang in custody, which ignited nationwide demonstrations. Protesters chanting "Ruto must go" demand accountability for alleged police brutality, with Amnesty Kenya reporting 16 deaths in recent clashes. The government's claim that some protesters are terrorists has fueled tensions, while KTN TV vowed to defy the ban. Over 80 abductions of activists in the past year have raised fears of state-sponsored repression, with regional neighbors like Uganda and Tanzania also cracking down on media. Social media is amplifying the movement, with citizens live streaming to bypass censorship. International allies, including the UN, are urging restraint to prevent further violence. Businesses in the capital are shuttered as protests disrupt daily life, and human rights groups call for dialogue to restore calm. Kenya's democratic credentials are under scrutiny as the crisis deepens. Zimbabwe's $88 million Trabablas Interchange project is mired in controversy as allegations of corruption take center stage. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has championed the road as a milestone for economic progress, but critics point to inflated costs and the involvement of businessman Kudakwashe Tagwirei, a close ally. The Africa report highlights public skepticism, with opposition groups demanding an independent audit to ensure transparency. The project, meant to boost trade connectivity, is now a lightning rod for accusations of cronyism, reflecting Zimbabwe's broader governance challenges. Civil society groups argue that public funds are being misused while the economy struggles with inflation and unemployment. Posts on X reflect growing public frustration, with some calling the project a racket. The government insists the interchange will drive growth, but international donors are wary, threatening to withhold funding. Community leaders are pushing for public hearings to hold officials accountable. As Zimbabwe grapples with a fractured opposition and a strained economy, the controversy underscores the urgent need for reforms to restore public trust in infrastructure investments. Moving on. Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, head of SAPS Crime Intelligence, was arrested at OR Tambo International Airport on 27 June by the Independent Directorate Against Corruption in South Africa and has appeared before the Pretoria Magistrates Court. He and 6 co-accused are facing 4 counts of corruption and fraud and are accused of facilitating unapproved appointments. Khumalo and 5 others were granted bail of 10,000 rand each, while 1 co-accused remains in custody due to pending charges. The arrest, hailed by some as a rare demonstration of accountability, comes amid escalating mistrust in SAPS, which has faced long-standing scrutiny over pervasive financial misconduct. Critics argue that systemic reform beyond isolated arrests is essential to restore public confidence and effectively address corruption. Amid growing calls for civic and community groups, especially among urban youth consuming news via social media platforms like TikTok, there is a mounting demand for broader transformation in SAPS, including enhanced transparency and accountability measures. Analysts caution that political power struggles could undermine investigative momentum. Though the government has promised to intensify anti-corruption efforts, public skepticism remains entrenched, and Khumalo's 10,000 rand bail has been perceived by some as insufficient relative to the gravity of the charges. This case serves as a litmus test. It reflects renewed determination to confront corruption in the police intelligence apparatus, yet also underscores the monumental challenge of dismantling deeply entrenched graft. And in the last of our top stories, Botswana is reaping the benefits of growing intra-African trade, cementing its role as a key partner in Southern Africa. AfriximBank's 2024 trade report lists Botswana among Southern Africa's top trading partners, with exports like diamonds driving economic ties. The country's stable governance and strategic investments in infrastructure have positioned it as a hub for regional commerce, particularly within the African Continental Free Trade Area framework. Here are some words from President Duma Boko.
And the narrative that Botswana is struggling to attract investors is a false narrative. It is actually palpably false. Must be refuted here and now. We've received scores of investors who've come to inquire, who have come to indicate that they want to invest in our country. This is a country on the continent which is one of only two that has credit rated the highest. It's ourselves and Mauritius. So why wouldn't investors not want to come here? There's one advantage that Botswana has that others don't have, and that is its strategic geo-positioning. We are here. If you want to go to the east, you must pass through Botswana. You want to go west, Botswana is at the center. North, south. This centrality, this strategic positionality makes Botswana difficult to compete with. What prospects does it portend? We should have airports that service the whole of Africa, and we should have long-haul flights into Europe, into Turkey, into the Middle East, into North America. We should, from here, meaning that Botswana must and will become a logistics and transportation hub.
Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. We're going to have a look at the weather predictions before Mike Sichula joins us with the Zambia report. It's time for us to talk to Mike Sichula as he delivers the Zambia report. Mike Uribanji.
Nirebuino Muribanji, Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
All right, in Africa, good morning indeed, particularly in Zambia, because a $100 million solar plant is going to be put into service today by President Hakainde Hichilema. Looks like it's lights on.
Yes, it lights on. So the 100 million Chisamba power plant is part of the 1,000 megawatt solar onboard target designed to diversify the national electricity mix and boost national electricity security. So the president will be in Chisamba today to commission this project. It is one of Zambia's biggest solar projects. The previous ones that have been done have been below 50 megawatts of power. So Energy Minister Makozo Chikote, ahead of the commissioning, said the plant is something that is a demonstration of government's commitment to promoting renewable energy and enhancing energy security for all Zambians. Then ZESCO's Department for Corporate Affairs says the plant is expected to generate enough power to power more than 30 to 50,000 households in the neighboring communities of Chisamba. So this project, according to the government, they said they had a target of 1,000 megawatts of power by solar through solar generation by December 2025. So this one is one of the biggest 100. Then there's also another one that is producing about 50 megawatts. Then in Southern Province, Choma, there's also another project that is earmarked to produce more than 100 solar uh, generated power. So it is an energy mix. So what government is doing is finding places and regions where these solar plants can be erected. As you know, solar plants demand a lot of space, and there's a lot of cutting down of trees and displacement of people. So that's why it is taking a little bit slower as compared to the target set by government to establish 1,000 solar power plants.
All right, Mike. Now, in our next story, the Constitutional Court has declared the current constitutional amendments illegal. I believe this is in reference to the controversial Bill 7.
Yes. You're quite right on that one. So, as you know, this Bill 7, the Minister of Justice has been going around the country promoting it. However, as she was doing that, jailed lawmaker Munie Zulu and a lawyer in Lusaka had petitioned the Constitutional Court, and the Constitutional Court, delivering its judgment last week, they found that the decision not to undertake wide consultations with the people goes against the spirit of the Constitution. It reads, in the absence of any evidence that the initial process undertaken by the respondent, meaning the state, meets the expectations of with the people, as stated above, we are on firm view that the initial process lacks consensus, according to Professor Munalula, who is the Constitutional Court president. So the most interesting part about this is that a day before the Constitutional Court released its judgment, President Hakainde Hichilema issued a statement to defer the Constitution to another date, meaning he called on the Minister of Justice to stop widely publicizing and also conducting whatever she was doing in terms of getting consensus from members of the public. So he deferred to say, can we stop this constitutional making process? Let's consult people. So it came before the Constitutional Court. So what would have happened is that had the president not stopped this process, he was going to be a candidate of impeachment, because according to the Constitutional Court lawyers, the majority ruling, about 4 Constitutional Court judges ruled against this ongoing amendments. It violated 10 articles of the Zambian constitution, meaning it was an illegal process that the government of Zambia was promoting against the wishes of majority Zambians who called for consensus in order to advance constitutional amendments. So it is quite an interesting thing, because it has put the separation of powers into question. So people are asking, was the president tipped by the Constitutional Court to say, this is coming up, can you quickly defer this constitution? Because otherwise, when it is not done, you may be subjected to impeachment for violating the Zambian constitution.
All right, Mike will certainly be keeping an eye on that one. And something else we've been keeping an eye on is the burial stalemate between the former president of Zambia, Edgar Lungu's family, and the Zambian government with regards to the aforementioned burial. What's the status?
Presently, we haven't heard any statement from both parties, that is the Zambian government and the Lungu family. The information that we have comes from last week's events when this matter came before the Praetorian High Court. And during that state, the Lungu family's spokesperson, Mr. Makebi Zuru, hinted that his party was not going to withdraw or back down their demands. He went on to say this court process has given them an opportunity to tell the world how Mr. Edgar Lungu was treated by the current administration. On the other hand, Attorney General Mr. Muliro Kabesha has insisted that the process that the government has undertaken is aimed at giving Zambians an opportunity to see off their former president, Edgar Lungu, who died in June 5th this year. So it is something that has been widely put as a position that still again demands that Zambians need to go to the round table and resolve this matter. So aside what has been said by both parties, a number of people have still called on the Zambian government to consider dialogue over this matter, unlike exposing the national identity in the foreign court, that is in South Africa. So we are hoping that between now and before the two parties are supposed to make their submissions on the 3rd and 4th of July, something may be clinched in order to resolve this matter out of court.
All right, Mike, we'll be waiting for an update on that. Now we're going to close off the Zambia report with your sport. And of course, we don't talk sport in Zambia without talking the Copper Queens, who are about to take on WAFCON. I understand their coach is very confident right now, Mike.
Yes, the coach is very confident. She said that the mood in camp is exciting, excellent, with players working hard both on and off the pitch. She said the team has been emphasizing on building cohesion, strengthening their core values, and ensuring that they are physically and mentally ready for the opening match against hosts Morocco next month. So Zambia is in Group 4. They are also placed against the Democratic Republic of Congo and Senegal. So this group, Zambia has gone to this tournament with an ambitious ambition of winning their first WAFCON title. Remember, in 2022, Zambia came out 3rd with a bronze medal. That achievement was done without the likes of Barbara Banda and Rachel Kundanandi in the team. It was only Grace
We seem to have lost Mike Sichula there, but of course it was at the tail end of the Zambia report, which he comprehensively covered the $100 million solar plant, which is going to be put into service today by President Hakainde Hichilema, as well as the Constitutional Court saying that the current constitutional amendment process has been illegal. He also spoke to us about the stalemate between Edgar Lungu's family, the late Edgar Lungu's family, and the Zambian government with regards to his burial. So far, it looks like nothing will really happen until August. And of course, he spoke about the Copper Queens, who are ready for WAFCON, having been the 2022 champions. That has been our show. From me, Ashwin Bedi, and the Africa Good Morning team, Sweta Jakanaka, and we'll see you on DStv 285, GOtv 25, 1up2.com, and NTV Africa.